Yo, what is up, guys? It's your host, the one and only Great H here, which I'm pretty sure you guys already know, as I already done this intro like something times. Whatever. So, if you guys don't know, I've been on a break. Well, not even a break. I would say, let's just say a lot of personal stuff have been happening in my life, and I just had to clear it all up. Either way, I'm not getting into detail about it. So, if you guys don't know, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a what if video. Except I'm going to try a new video format I'm trying to do. Pretty much I'm going to be trying out, just like a new software. As well as I'm going to try a different way of doing my what ifs. As for the past few weeks, I've been experimenting on how to do what ifs. Because the way I've been doing it lately, it just feels so old school. And at the same time, like, don't get me wrong, I like doing my what ifs the way I like them. But it's just the fact that I feel like I go too much in detail into it. And at this point, it's just not really clicking like that anymore. But you know what, now I'm gonna try a new different way, just to test the waters out. But I promise you guys, the story will still continue on. The what if story will continue on, of course. And either way, why don't we go ahead and get started with this, considering the fact I don't want to bore you guys with the details. So yeah, besides all that, let's get started with this what if, since I know some of y'all been waiting. So let's begin. Alright guys, let's start off this what if. Hope y'all do enjoy. Let's begin. So we now start off this what if with the events of the canon now moving forward, as this part will cover the two parts, Tsunade retrieval arc and the Sasuke retrieval arc, pretty much. So we now begin this arc with pretty much Jiraiya, who had just arrived at the, well, not arrived, but he was currently right now talking to our blonde protagonist, who was calmly enjoying his day. Jiraiya had actually came here to actually ask Naruto to come with him on a mission to retrieve the 5th Hokage, Tsunade. At this, Naruto was planning on declining. However, this is when an Anbu member would then appear, asking Naruto to accompany Jiraiya, as these were the orders of the 3rd Hokage. This would of course make Naruto very reluctant, but he had of course no choice to go, as Naruto still obeyed the rules of the village. Although this will cause a bigger damp on Naruto and Hiruzen's relationship. Moving on, as Naruto would pack up, he would eventually leave the village with Jiraiya, just like he did in canon, which causes us to once again continue on with the canon, of course. From that point, most of the canon continues on like they do, just like in the anime, to which suddenly two individuals would then walk into the village. Just like that, both Asuma and Kurenai, who are currently right now off duty, and I guess you guys can say a date were happening between the two, will both catch these suspicious individuals walking in the village and confront them. These two being Kisame and Itachi. Both members of the Akatsuki had came here to retrieve the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, or more or less to complete their mission. Their mission was to test the waters with the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. After his display of strength in the tuning exams, they needed to make sure could they still take him on. And these guys were pretty much just a way to test them. However, if they are successful to overpower it, they are ordered to take him with them. Seeing that they were here, both Asuma and Kurenai would engage them in combat just like they did in canon, to which they will get defeated, alright? They were no match against them. I mean, Asuma put up a good fight, but bro, Kurenai tried to put a genjutsu on Itachi Uchiha. A genjutsu. Do I have to go any further? No, I don't. Moving on, the events will continue on all the way until Kakashi arrives, which they still somehow get beaten up. As just when all hope seemed lost, this is when Might Guy would come in, as he would actually kick away Kisame, as he challenged him due to the fact that he had already had multiple experience fighting a Sharingan user, aka Kakashi, and that he knew how to take them both on. As just when Kisame was about to accept the challenge, Itachi reminded them that they were not here, to which Kakashi, who was still somehow conscious, would then ask who their objective was, him thinking that it was Sasuke. However, to his surprise, Itachi would answer saying that they were after the fort's legacy. At this, both Kurenai and all of them knew, however Kakashi already knew the second meaning to it, as this is when both, of course, Itachi and Kisame would then leave, to which Kakashi would instantly pass out due to fatigue and already was exhausted after the encounter with Itachi. Taking them away, the events would pretty much just play out like they did, as we now turn our attention back to Naruto and Jiraiya. Moving along the trail, we would see both of them now currently walking, as this time Jiraiya does not have Naruto learning the Rasengan, mostly due to the fact that he had already learned the jutsu. In fact, most of the time, Naruto would actually try to make like different versions of the Rasengan, to which Jiraiya had actually tried to accept Naruto's offer on trying to learn how to make a different version on it. Because Jiraiya has tried multiple times to make the different versions or like a different elemental Rasengan, but for him, it usually doesn't work. But for Naruto, it just seems to work. It just seems to click like that. However, unknown to Jiraiya, Naruto did have a system, so like, yeah, there was a little bit of a factor in that too. But moving on, the events will play out just like they did, all the way to the point where Jiraiya would encounter a girl who apparently winks at him, getting his attention. This will of course cause Naruto to be suspicious, as, I mean, look at Jiraiya. You're telling me a woman was gonna find that man attractive? This man looked like he's 90 something. Of course, seeing the woman attracted to him, Jiraiya would instantly give Naruto some money, telling him to go to a hotel while he had his research, as he dashes off towards the woman. Naruto will look at the man who was idiotic enough to fall for that, as Naruto can only hint that this woman was either put on a genjutsu or she was just a delusional. However, not trying to be sidetracked, Naruto would summon 2 shadow clones, ordering them to scope out the area, as Naruto can't help but get this strange feeling that something's bad was gonna happen. Seeing this, Naruto would eventually go to the hotel like he does in canon, to which this is where the events would go on like they did. As we now move back to Konoha, we would see pretty much the events happening like they did. You know, Kakashi was still bedridden, and this is when Sasuke would of course come in, asking Kakashi for training, only to see his sensei was knocked out. The questions would then begin to come through as Sasuke begins to ask what happened to his sensei, only for a random ass Jonin who didn't know the meaning of shut up, as he begins to spill the whole information that's supposed to be a secret, that apparently Itachi Uchiha had came here and he was looking for Naruto. This of course caused Sasuke to be instantly pissed off, as well as already dashing off to find his brother so that way he can so-called avenge his clan, even though he's barely been a genin for like what, a year? Either way, let me continue on. We now turn our attention back to Naruto, who currently was right now actually concentrating in a fetal position, as he was currently collecting energy around him. Using this, he'll begin to use senjutsu to try to sense around the area, and as soon as he does, Naruto feels distinctive, extremely powerful presence approaching his door. Naruto would already narrow his eyes at it, as he instantly gets up, preparing to answer. At this, we would then hear the knock, of course, to which Naruto would answer the door to reveal the red glowing eyes of a Sharingan, and to reveal both individuals, that being Kisame and Itachi. So the events would continue on like they did in canon, with Itachi asking Naruto to come along with them, to which Naruto would respond swiftly, no. At this, Naruto was about to close the door, but this is when Kisame would then block it with his foot, saying, "We're not asking you, brat." At this, seeing this, Naruto can do nothing more but look at them with narrowed eyes, until instantly jumping into action, he would activate the traps that he set it up. Yup, that's right. Using the moment that Naruto had gained suspicion, Naruto had set up traps all around, using his shadow clones, so that way he was prepared for any circumstances. It seems like Naruto's instincts were correct, as already both Itachi and Kisame would then feel a ginormous pressure fall upon them, as well as they feel significant drain in their chakra. What the hell? Thought Kisame, while Itachi was looking around with his Sharingan flickering on and off, as Naruto was draining a lot of chakra from him. Looking around, Itachi would try using as bunch of chakra to his eyes as he could, until he senses a distinctive chakra signature around the entire hallway. Fuinjutsu, Itachi would identify. Hearing this, Kisame would look at Naruto and says, "Stupid brat." At this, Naruto did not even care, as he then says, "You came here for a battle, but sadly this has turned to an execution," Naruto would say coldly and emotionlessly, as this is when both Itachi and Kisame would then see Naruto turn his hand into like a square, as he had prepared to actually use his particle release to end both of their lives. However, this did take up some concentration, but then again, this shouldn't take too long. As a glowing white energy begins to form around Naruto's hands, this is when suddenly a nuisance would then burst through the wall. At this would take Naruto's concentration off, giving Kisame enough time to actually use some Hara to break out of the Fuinjutsu. Appearing there, of course Sasuke would appear just like he did in canon, screaming and ranting about Itachi. Of course, due to this, Naruto distracted would then be kicked by Kisame. However, Naruto was luckily able to block it in time. However, he did get sent flying a little bit. Shit. Seeing this opportunity, Kisame instantly pulls out Samehada, to which Naruto would end up bringing out his own blade, that being his, well, Zabuza's blade, but now his, as both of them would then clash with each other. Of course, Kisame will be surprised by by seeing the Executioner blade, as he then begins to comment about Zabuza, saying that he was a fellow teammate, and that he's impressed that a runt like him was wielding it. Naruto said nothing more, as both of them begin to clash in a swordsman combat, while of course Itachi begins to deal with Sasuke as if he was nothing more than a nuisance. Other than that, the events with Itachi and Sasuke go exactly like they do in canon, with Sasuke getting his ass beat and then getting trapped in the Tsukuyomi. As for Naruto, the events of course go incredibly different, as Naruto was actually being able to deal with Kisame. Due to the fact that Kisame honestly had no idea about Naruto's abilities, other than the fact that he had a couple of powerful chakra abilities, this would actually surprise him due to the fact that Naruto is now using his grimoire as well as his Zushi no Mi to actually take care of him. This would of course throw Kisame off balance, as due to the fact that Samehada can only absorb chakra, this would cause him to not be able to absorb the effects of both the grimoire and the Zushi no Mi. After fighting, of course, eventually Naruto was able to land a not a fatal blow, but like a powerful blow to Kisame, causing him to kneel. As seeing the opportunity, Naruto was about to strike him in the neck, ending his life, but this is when of course Itachi would get in the way. Already saying that now Naruto was up against 2 now, this is when suddenly Jiraiya would then burst in like he does in canon, and instantly resolves the situation by planning to use the Toad Mouth Jutsu, as Itachi had no choice but to use the Amaterasu and bring Kisame along to escape. After their escape, of course, Might Guy will make his appearance known. They would have that confrontation until Might Guy takes Sasuke away, and Naruto and Jiraiya will continue on their journey to find Tsunade. As of course, Jiraiya was actually asking Naruto if he wants any training, mostly due to the fact that now that Jiraiya knows that now the Akatsuki is becoming active, he feels more entitled to train Naruto now, due to the fact that now Naruto is truly in danger. Naruto, however, disagrees, saying that he already knows what to train for and that he does not need Jiraiya's help. This of course caused Jiraiya to feel a blow to his pride, but they would continue on anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a time skip to when they arrive at the town that Tsunade is located at, mostly due to the fact that I don't want to go into detail about their whole travel and everything. It's just like nonsense. Arriving at the town, they would see that there was a bunch of destruction, to which Jiraiya hinted that Tsunade had its superior strength, to which they eventually end up making their way to a bar to where they find the lucky sucker herself, Tsunade. Arriving there, they would also see her assistant Shizune, who's currently right now talking to her master about taking less drinks, to which Tsunade would just make sultry comments and everything. Now the events that transpire will play just like they did in the anime, except the difference is that instead of Naruto just outgoing screaming at Tsunade, he would actually be extremely cold to her, as during the time when they were talking, Naruto honestly was not paying attention. However, when she began to disrespect the Hokages, that's where Naruto drew a line. As even though Naruto had to admit the Hokages were a little bit of a piece of crap to him, he still respected them for their power. So due to this, Naruto would actually make a cold response to Tsunade, telling him that of course a woman like her would try to acting as if she's all high and mighty when she's always below them. Which of course would make Tsunade get angry, as that was a blow to her pride, as she was Tsunade Senju. She was the last of the Senju clan and a Sanin. So who was this runt to tell her what to do? So of course this would end up leading to a battle between Tsunade and Naruto, to which Tsunade had insisted on it. As they go outside, the events play completely different from the canon, as because at this time Tsunade, when she tries to underestimate Naruto doesn't even say a word to her, as he instantly blitz into actions. Using the Executioner's blade, Naruto appears right in front of her, as he would actually jab her in the stomach with the blunt of the blade, causing Tsunade to be sent flying. This would of course shock Shizune, while Jiraiya was of course calm and composed, already knowing that his student was of course on a different level. Staggering back up, Tsunade was of course in shock by this action, but she decided she was going to take this runt a little bit more seriously, telling him that it was just a fluke that he even hit her. Naruto, of course not falling for it, would just summoning shadow clones, as each one of them would then blitz into hand signs. One of them using the wind style wind bullet, Naruto using the fire style great fireball jutsu, and finally another Naruto clone using the earth style shattering earth dragon. Seeing these rare jutsus coming at her, Tsunade's just thinking, like, what the heck is happening now, as she's amazed that a Genin had this much power, to which, by the way, Tsunade thinks Naruto was a Genin. As the attacks comes towards her, she ends up using her full-on power to actually just hit the attacks really hard, causing a large amount of wind to fill in the whole area. Seeing the opportunity, Naruto would actually use the body flicker to appear right behind Tsunade, as he would deliver her a powerful kick to the stomach, using the Zushi no Mi to put a lot more weight into it. As she gets sent flying, Tsunade would instantly burst out of it, now fully on anger, as she actually punches the ground of the entire town, which ends up causing a miniature earthquake that was actually about to collapse the whole town on itself. Seeing this, Naruto instantly puts his hand on the ground, using the Zushi no Mi to overpower the effects, causing the earthquake to be stopped. However, this would actually cause Naruto to be even more furious with Tsunade, as she was about to end the lives of innocent people due to her own rage. So due to these actions, Naruto ends up lowering the weight of himself, so that way he can blitz past Tsunade. As he appears right in front of her, right before she even got the chance to react, Naruto applies a lot of weight to his fist using the Zushi no Mi, and delivers a powerful striking blow to Tsunade's stomach, knocking the woman unconscious instantly. Rushing over to her sensei, Shizune would ask her if she was okay, not getting a response, to which Naruto would calmly walk off, telling her that she has until tomorrow to come along with them, or else he'll put her down once again. However, right before he does go, Naruto does end up hearing her get up, as she ends up asking Naruto why would he go so far. To which Naruto would calmly respond, saying that although the Hokage have done many mistakes and are sometimes foolish, he still respects them for their power. And at this, Naruto's eyes will then glow a dangerous red as he glares at Tsunade, and anyone who disrespects them has to deal with me. Of course, hearing this, Tsunade could already hear the undertone threat that Naruto was declaring, as he was pretty much daring her to make another insult, so that way he can do the same thing that he did today. At this, Jiraiya was only thinking like, damn, this kid got balls, as he sees Naruto walks away, to which he would accompany him along. Fast forward to the next day, we will now see the gang now leaving, as Tsunade of course was extremely reluctant until she actually makes a bet with Naruto, saying that he can't do the Rasengan, to which Jiraiya was actually about to tell her that Naruto already knew, but sadly it was too late, as Naruto had already formed the blue sphere right in front of her. That seeing that there was no way she could win, Tsunade had no choice but to go along with them, to which this would cause the end of the Tsunade retrieval arc. So yeah, due to the fact that Orochimaru is no longer in play here, it really takes away a lot of that thrill for this event. So that means we do not get the battle between the three Sanins. We do not see Naruto spending all those time learning the Rasengan due to the fact that he already knows it. But hey, I mean, at least they still get Tsunade, so yay! So we now move on to the Sasuke retrieval arc. Starting off, you will now see our group of individuals now arriving at the village, to which, of course, you would see Naruto just calmly walking, however, beside him would be Tsunade. During the trip to here, Tsunade had actually grown a connection to Naruto, as even though he was, I guess you could say, a bit calm and a bit emotionless, she still had, she still felt like, the kid was like a grandson to her, or like just a son to her. As they made their way to the Hokage's tower, this is when, of course, they will meet Hiruzen, to which Naruto honestly does not even talk to the man, as, like I said, due to the fact that Naruto made him accompany on this mission, it put a damper on their relationship. Although Naruto is a bit thankful due to the fact that if he didn't go on this mission, he probably would never have met Tsunade, who is currently, I guess you could say, his parent right now. Like she's currently right now the only person he can substitute for a parent. So moving along. And by the way, if you guys are saying, but isn't Kurama like a parent? No, Kurama is more like a brother, I would say. I would say Kurama is more like a brother. So moving on. Of course, Hiruzen would actually tell Tsunade that he was stepping down, to which Tsunade would then say that she would accept the title. To which, of course, Hiruzen was just going to be like, hallelujah, because bro, he's finally getting rid of paperwork. So unlike the main timeline where Naruto was like telling Tsunade to go heal the people, it was actually going to be Hiruzen who actually ended up explaining about the Uchiha's condition as well as Kakashi. Hearing that both his sensei and I guess you can say comrade, well actually better yet supposed sensei and his supposed comrade were both injured, Naruto honestly could not care less, as that just proves just how pathetic they both were. Moving along, of course, Naruto would actually see Tsunade end up healing both of them, to which of course each one of them seemed like to be in a dazed state, but at least they had gone out of the Genjutsu. And after that, I'm just gonna say we're gonna move on forward due to the fact that everything else is just sort of boring. So, moving on, Tsunade eventually gets declared that day the 5th Hokage, to which Naruto mostly spends the rest of that day mostly calming, reading books, talking to Kurama of course, training, and grinding. However, as we move on forward, we would actually turn our attention to our certain resident Uchiha. Sasuke was currently in a deep dilemma, as after the experience of getting his ass handed to by, of course, Itachi, he would of course be feeling some sort of rage. However, he did not know how to draw the attention to. Oh wait, yes he do. He drew all his rage of losing to Itachi onto Naruto. Why? Who knows? Oh wait, because Itachi wanted Naruto and not him. Let me go ahead and move on forward. I'm getting too much into this. So of course, just like that, Naruto was currently just relaxing in the training field, as he was currently right now reading a book. However, this is when Sasuke would then arrive, challenging Naruto to a fight, as Naruto could already obviously see that Sasuke had snuck out of the hospital just for this. Seeing this, Naruto would already decline to it, to which Sasuke was not giving him no for an answer, as he instantly blitzed off to attack the blonde. But this is when a force of gravity would then slam into Sasuke, causing him to fall on the ground, as Naruto had used the ability of the Zushi no Mi to put Sasuke down, as he would calmly walk away, saying that the Uchiha doesn't mean anything to him, and that he honestly does not give a damn about Sasuke or his goal, and just to leave him alone. Seeing that Sasuke was just disrespect, the Uchiha can do nothing more but glare at the person who seemed to just be above him on everything, as he would currently just stay there on the ground in defeat. No, don't worry though, the effects instantly just, as soon as Naruto walks away, the effects are gone, due to the fact that Naruto took it off. So moving on forward, events play out pretty similarly really, as most of the time Naruto does not really do anything. He mostly spends the time alone, chatting up with Tsunade. He does eventually counter Hinata, to which they both train for a little bit, until Hinata actually asks Naruto on a date again, to which he has extremely reluctantly accepts. After that, they do end up going on a date, and pretty much events just play smoothly until late at night. We'll see said Uchiha, who's currently right now back in the Uchiha compound, pretty much just going over the recent events that have been occurring to him. Why did life do this to him? As so far, almost everything that he had planned out was going wrong, as literally the dope, or should he say the literal dead last of the class, was better than him. Heck, he was literally on Jonin level, while he was still freaking Genin. This of course pissed off Sasuke to no avail, until suddenly this is when he would then sense chakra signatures. Already getting up, he would instantly blitz out of the house, as soon as he does, he would see 4 figures literally like on a tree looking down at him, until a 5th one would then fall down. Sasuke Uchiha, I believe you have to come with us. These were the Silent Four. However, this time they were accompanied by Kabuto. Seeing this, Sasuke was of course confused, until he ends up, telling them that right now he's in a bad mood, and he goes around saying that, they don't want to mess with him, to which they all just scoff at that pretty much. After that, the events play out just like they did, with Sasuke getting his ass handed to, and pretty much getting the gift of power. However, this is where the plan plays out differently though. Instead of saying that Orochimaru will give him power, he says that Orochimaru gives him everything. He will give him everything, his legacy. As this will of course confuse Sasuke, he would then be given a scroll, to which Orochimaru pretty much declared that he was giving it all to Sasuke, to which the Uchiha would actually smirk, as he was actually very happy about this. However, unaware to Sasuke, this was a part of the snake's plan, as you don't honestly believe that the snake was done just like that, did you? At this, of course Orochimaru made up a situation just in case for emergencies. If he was not able to gain the Uchiha, he would have to try to use a different method, and this seemed to be the most superior one. At this, he also gave Kabuto specific instructions about what to do, as trust me, this won't be the end of Orochimaru. So, moving on, just like in canon, Sasuke would of course join the Silent Four, as he would ditch the village hidden in the leaves, this time more willingly, due to the fact that this time Sakura did not try to stop him, as she currently right now was having other matters, as currently right now she literally has other stuff to focus on than a crush. So that's how Sasuke leaves the village. Doing a time skip to the next day, we now see our resident blonde, as well as our protagonist, currently walking through the village until he ends up seeing an Anbu appear right in front of him. At this, the Anbu would tell Naruto to come along with him, to which he would do so, as he would appear right in front of the office of the Hokage, being in front of the presence of Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Hiruzen. Seeing all three of them here, Naruto would narrow his eyes as he could already tell that a bad feeling was going to happen, to which Tsunade would end up reporting that Sasuke Uchiha had just left the village. At this, they would expect Naruto to be like, in dismay or something. Come on, this is a completely different version of Naruto. By the way, hold up, I'm going to go ahead and pause this part right there, because I'm going to get water real quick. Okay, and now I'm back. Jeez, I really needed that water. Okay, let's continue on. So, just like we thought, Naruto doesn't even bat an eye at the comment, as he honestly does not have that sort of relationship with his teammates like he did in canon. However, this does not mean that he was not going to stop a fellow Leaf Shinobi from leaving the village, as Naruto could already tell that Sasuke, after that ass beating, was going to go ahead and go into a dark spiral. So seeing this, Naruto would actually be ordered by Tsunade to form a team, as he was going to be in charge of it, to which Naruto would nod as he would instantly dash off. However, this would make Naruto be confused, as I actually want to ask this, why the heck are all the freaking Jonin, Chunin, and pretty much everyone else that are higher than Genin, all gone for a mission? What? Was today literally work day or something? Come on. That was just plain ridiculous, bro. You could have been oh, some of them got fatally injured in the freaking accident, or you could have done something, but come on, an excuse like that? Really? Whatever, let me continue on. So moving on, of course Naruto will form the same team like he does in canon. Even though he was very reluctant to go alone, he still had to follow the orders of the Hokage, so he made a team. Now, of course, moving on, we would still get that moment with, Sakura asking Naruto to get Sasuke back. However, it would not be exactly that emotional due to the fact that this time, instead of Sakura, being like, oh, bring back Sasuke, she's just like, yo, bring back Sasuke, he's our teammate. And even though we're not chill like that, we still need him here. He's part of the Hidden Leaf. Naruto would of course give her a sincere look until he just nods, replacing back to that emotionless expression, as him as well as the rest of them would go off on their mission. Okay, so this is how I plan to do it. So moving on, they would already encounter the first challenge, that being Jirobo of the Sound 4, who ends up challenging them all. At this, he would of course make that dome, to which luckily with Naruto, he was easily able to overpower it. However, just when they were about to take their time to finish him off, this is when Choji would actually speak up, saying that he wants to be left behind to take care of it. Of course, Naruto was extremely reluctant about it, as well as the rest of them, but Choji's determination showed through, to which they would actually allow him to challenge Jirobo. So that fight would still remain the same. Up next will end up being Neji versus Kudamaru, to which that again, of course, they'll leave him there to fight him, just like they do in canon. All the way until Shikamaru versus Taiyuya, to which Naruto, honestly, he had no tolerance for this shit anymore. So he would actually end up sending her going down with a bunch of gravitational power due to the Zushi no Mi, as well as he would end up using his grimoire to actually form a portal back to the Hidden Leaf, so that way she can go and be taken care of. Now that all that was taken care of, this will only leave Kabuto, who was still there defending the casket, to which just when they were about to get in combat, this is when Naruto ends up sensing the fading chakra signature of the rest of the comrades. Seeing this, Naruto instantly makes 2 clones to go help them out, to which they would do so instantly, while Naruto decides that right now Kabuto needs to be taken care of. However, right before they even get the chance, this is when a bunch of bones would then be sent flying towards him, to which Naruto would calmly grab Shikamaru and jump away, as this is when Kudamaru would make his appearance known. While this is happening, the casket that Sasuke was in was then burst out of, as he would then jump along with Kabuto away. However, he did actually end up screaming at Naruto that he would be waiting for him to face him, to which Naruto honestly didn't even bat an eye at the comment. Back with Kimimura. Dang it, how you say his name? Hold up. Kumuro. I think that's how you say it. Kumuro. Okay, let me continue on. So, back with Kumuro, Naruto honestly had no patience at all, as this is when Naruto would then summon multiple clones to begin to gang up on him. However, this is when suddenly multiple spikes would then shoot at Kumuro's back, as he would actually end up impaling all of the clones, as Naruto was actually a little bit surprised at this, due to the fact that he was for sure that Kumuro was not even going to take one down, as he realized that he had underestimated this. This is when Kumaro would begin to speak, saying that he was the superior member of all the Sound 4, as this was when he would actually be caught by Shikamaru's shadow possession jutsu, to which this would cause him to end up being like wide open. Seeing the opportunity, Naruto already blitzed into hand signs, but this is when the figure would then jump past him, kicking Kumaro away from them. At this scene, the green spandex, this is when Naruto already knew who it is, as this was the boy Rock Lee, as he was here to hustle and trustle, bro. I'm sorry, I know that sounded cringy. I was trying to sound cool, but I guess I'm not. Either way, let me continue on. Kumaro was actually surprised by this attack, as he would look at Rock Lee, who ends up getting into his stance, as he begins to make about a comment about the flames of youth or something. To which Naruto and Shikamaru would just look at him with a deadpan expression. Moving along, Shikamaru would end up telling Naruto that he should go on ahead, as Naruto was obviously the superior of them all currently, and that he needed to go and get Sasuke. Seeing this, Naruto didn't even give any time to argue, as he already dashed off, not even batting an eye, as he knew that they were able to take care of him. And if they didn't, well, there were always the chance that Naruto considered a shadow clone. Dashing off, this is when Rock Lee and Shikamaru would actually engage with Kumaro, to which I believe with Shikamaru's intelligence and Rock Lee's just his pure ability of taijutsu, I feel like both of them working together could actually beat him. So using this opportunity, both Kumaro and Rock Lee and Shikamaru both engaged into combat. So back with Naruto, he was currently now chasing Kabuto and Sasuke until they eventually arrive at the location like they do in canon, the Valley of the End. Seeing this, on top of a hill, we will see Sasuke, who's currently looking down at Naruto with an arrogant smirk, to which Naruto honestly did not even bat an eye at, to which Kabuto was also doing the same thing. Naruto, seeing this chance, will make a snarky comment, something about finally having a place to where they put their egos, to which this will cause Sasuke to get angry, as he would then say a grunt. Ugh, whatever. Come on, Naruto, face me. At this, Kabuto now looks at Sasuke as if he was crazy, as he ends up telling Sasuke, or should I say Lord Sasuke, that they don't have time for that, to which Sasuke ends up saying that it won't even take a second. At this, Naruto honestly doesn't even bat an eye. However, he sighs, knowing that, this has got to be the Uchiha stubbornness, so he instantly activates the Zushi no Mi to make himself levitate in the air. At this, he will also pull out the grimoire, as multiple bluish spheres begin to float around Naruto, each one of them glowing dangerously, pretty much telling Naruto like, okay, what you gonna do? Seeing this, Sasuke would then smirking and says, "Bring it on, Naruto!" as he then jumps down from the alley, instantly blitzing into Chidori as he dashes off at Naruto at top speeds. Seeing the attack Naruto easily begins to maneuver out of this man, as this begins to get treated at how the bell test was for Sasuke, as he begins to get easily maneuvered by Naruto. Seeing his so-called lord getting in danger, Kabuto jumps down with chakra scalps trying to cut up Naruto, to which Naruto was easily able to dodge. He could already sense dangerous amount of chakra within that, and that if he were to get hit, it would not be pleasant. At this, Kurama will also help Naruto out, telling him where the attacks were coming, to which Naruto would of course be thankful to his friend. Seeing that they were already outmatched, Kabuto had tried to reason with Sasuke that they needed to get away, but Sasuke was too damn stubborn to even let go. Seeing that Sasuke was not backing down, Naruto decides to apply a little bit more power, as he asks Kurama for a little bit help in this, to which Kurama would do so. Feeling the bubbling amount of chakra coming from Naruto would then burst out in amazing speed, punching Sasuke in the stomach, to which you can hear a crack, as Sasuke would then be sent flying around the alley until he gets slammed into the statue of Madara. This would surprise Kabuto, as he had honestly no idea until Naruto ends up appearing right behind him, saying that we don't need no fanboys here, as he ends up knocking out Kabuto. At this, Sasuke would of course get out of the thing completely fine, to which I have to ask, how did this man get out of there unscathed, completely uninjured, and walked it off like it was nothing? Hello? I mean, I understand Naruto, he has the 9 tails, what's his excuse? Moving on though, Sasuke would get out there, but this time he will be in that winged form, as this time he will look completely like a freaking monster, to which Sasuke ends up explaining that Naruto was special, but he was even more. At this, Naruto honestly did not care, as this time he was fully planning on finishing it, as this time Naruto would actually ask Kurama to help, as it had been a while since both Kurama and Naruto have really gone in sync like that. Due to this, a red chakra arm would then appear right next to Naruto, as Naruto would then pump up as he was prepared to do a tail beast Rasengan. Seeing the sphere form, Sasuke would of course do the Chidori, or the Onyx Chidori, as both of them would then clash with each other, causing a ginormous explosion and causing that ginormous somehow sphere to form. At this, Sasuke would then be shown, as he was, the events will go similar to canon like that, with Sasuke and Naruto doing the whole hand thing where they put their hands together, pretty much accepting each other as friends. However, this time, I must say that, to Sasuke it was like that. To Naruto, it was nothing. This was nothing more than a mission. After that fight, Sasuke was then shown as his body was currently now just unconscious, as he was currently unable to move. Seeing this, Naruto would walk out of there, how he would then look at his arms to see he was slightly injured, to which Naruto would actually be surprised, as he could not believe the power behind the attack. Heck, if he was a Genin who only knew the Shadow Clone Jutsu and freaking Rasengan, he would have been dead. Oh wait. Moving on. So, looking at the body of his supposed comrade, Naruto was about to take Sasuke along, but this is when suddenly an unknown force would then push Naruto away, surprising him as he would actually have no choice but to instantly get back up. Looking up above, Naruto would see a strange figure just there, along with another person. One had orange hair and two glowing purple eyes, while the other was just wearing an orange mask. Seeing these two, Naruto was confused as he was about to use the Zushi no Mi, but the people would then disappear in a swirl. This would cause Naruto to be so confused as he's just wondering what? Until he would then turn back to Sasuke, only to see both him and his simp known as Kabuto were gone. At this, Naruto would look there with a blank expression until he then just speaks, "Oh, I failed." So, after the event, pretty much the Shinobi did end up arriving. They would end up asking Naruto a bunch of questions, to which he would not answer until the comrades were back at the Hidden Leaf, to which they ended up doing so. As this was where, of course, Shikamaru would, of course, actually break down a little bit, as he was unable to actually help the situation at all, as he had left all his comrades to fight, and he had barely been able to assist Lee, as he only gave Lee strategies as well as certain openings, but he was never able to do any real damage. So due to this, Shikamaru still has the emotional moment, but he still gets calmed by Temari, as the sound trio did arrive there. Now back with Naruto, he was supposed to give the report, to which he ended up doing so, as he would end up explaining about the people as well as the figures that had appeared. At this, hearing Naruto's description of it, both instantly would put the Saiyajins and the previous Hokage on guard, as they realized that the Akatsuki are now getting more and more active. So moving along with the story, of course, we would eventually have a sort of cooldown period, as after that big old mission, Naruto was given a break, to which he would gladly accept, as he spent most of the time bonding more with Hinata, training even more, and just growing even stronger. While this was happening, Jiraiya ended up collecting more information on the Akatsuki, and he had deemed it worthy that Naruto comes with him on a training mission, so that way they can bump up his level. Of course, when Naruto heard this, he was of course a little bit surprised. He thought that Jiraiya knew about the system. However, after a while of talking with Jiraiya, he realized that he really didn't. However, Naruto does agree with those terms, as honestly, he feels like he can get he could use a mission. He could use that time to train. However, he declared that he was actually going to go on the mission by himself. The training mission, I mean. Of course, hearing this, Jiraiya and Tsunade have both protested at this, but Naruto ended up telling them that he already knew methods to become stronger. As to when Tsunade actually ended up asking, Naruto would bow his head, saying that he can't give this information to her. This would of course make Tsunade extremely worried, but after enough convincing with Naruto and enough talking with him, she reluctantly accepted, much to Jiraiya's surprise. Just as when Jiraiya was about to berate her, Naruto gave him an icy glare, as this is when Naruto would then leave, as he had decided that he was going to go on this training journey. So, moving on with the story, we would see Naruto now currently in the front of the gates, with all his comrades waving him goodbye. he would see Hinata literally about to burst down in tears, to which Naruto actually walks over to her, only to see that it was a trap, as she ends up giving him a big old hug and a smackaroo on the cheek, if you know what I mean. And she ends up telling him that when he gets back, that he better expect a full intimate relationship, to which I mean that when he gets back, they're going to be official, okay? At this, Naruto can do nothing more but nod slowly, as he does not want to get the wrath of this woman, as after that, he will surely but slowly leave the Hidden Leaf Village. After this is where I'm going to go ahead and say this will be the end for this what if, unless you guys go ahead and smash that like button so that way we can get like, I don't know, like, 20. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. How about we make it to 150? Yeah, that seems like a decent like goal. If this video gets up to 150, I'll make this a 4-part series of the season 2, to which it will cover mostly all of Shippuden, the main event and everything, and I'll try my best to describe it as best as I can. But besides all that, guys, thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey. Yeah, and honestly, I have to admit I did enjoy this series. I know the series had many of its up and down, mostly due to the fact that I couldn't stick to the original thing too much, and I always got mixed up with stuff. But hey, like I said, I'm trying to adjust to this, okay? But either way, guys, hope you all did enjoy this what if, and your boy Great Zage is out. Peace and have a lovely day.